You're watching a production of South Dakota Public Broadcasting.
It brings to mind a word in Spanish that's similar, sabor, and it means flavor. It can be referred to as life, life full of flavor, sabor.
I also think that it's about the fact that we're teaching the generations after us that this is important, that how we make our food is important.
That looks delicious.
Local foods is more than just producing a food crop. For me, it's a lot about community.
It makes it that much more special as well, because there is a season for everything. When you can get things that are in season, they taste better.
It's part of like the story behind our meals. So having more connection to that food, I think, just makes the meal more fulfilling.
Gardens and fields are covered over by blankets of snow during the cold winter season. That doesn't mean that South Dakotans are lacking savory foods to enjoy.
Do you want some tea?
Yes, I'd love some. I feel horrible. It's really been too long. And I was thinking on the way up here how wonderful it was to get, Moonrise Mountain produce and your strawberries and all the wonderful herbs and things. And it was a treat.
Well, it's been a busy time and it's great to get together again.
Tea on this winter day is great. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's the mint tea from the garden. Just dried it over the winter.
And how many acres do you guys have?
Well, there's 90 altogether, and so the house where we are right now is right in the middle, and it's perfect for our organic gardening operation because it provides a buffer zone so that if somebody sprays like the weeds on the edge of the highway or something like that, it doesn't get to the garden, so we can still keep it organic, And the other thing about having it surrounded by the woods and pastures and stuff, the hills, is that the wildlife works with us. Like we get the pollinators that we need to pollinate the fruit trees, and we get the turkeys, like they come through in brigades and they eat the grasshoppers, so it's natural pest control. But that's part of the operation is working with nature, working with the ecosystem. Remember that in South Dakota, in western South Dakota, the ground that we have, the soil, isn't really very good for growing plants. I mean, we're basically tilling a rock pile here. It's well-suited, very well-suited for cattle.
What's really hard is when you do run a restaurant, it's really hard if you don't really know the sources and how to find people to grow vegetables or produce, and that's kind of where I think Dakota Rural Action came in, because they kind of help bring everybody together in a big group.
You kind of brought Dakota Rural Action to western South Dakota because they had been active they've been active for 27, 28 years in South Dakota. That's one channel that is very important for local food and the local food economy. We relate to each other through there. We have committees. We work on a food buying club that we have through there. We have the local foods directory and, of course, events.
But it's so exciting to see the changes, and I really, young people gardening and farming and because that's what it's all about for me, being able to buy local foods and local meats and just really, and all the money when you buy it from, local people stays in the community. And I think that's...
Exactly. Plus, it's a lot more environmentally friendly. I mean, I've seen strawberry jam from China, all things. Yeah. All the fuel that had to go into bringing any of that food that comes across the sea, or even from South America, for example, it shouldn't be spent on fossil fuel that causes air pollution. It should be just spent on local food that's fresher and has more nutrients.
With the drying of the herbs, is this something that you have been doing for a while now?
Yeah, my mom, she was doing that, so came by that honestly too. She would have all the herbs hanging from a rod across the sink in the kitchen counter area. And then So I do that. I hang them, and then I'll strip them off, and I'll put them in these jars so that I have like mint tea. That's the one we're drinking. And so another way I'll dry them is I'll put them right here on these little wicker plates, and that gives a chance for the air to circulate. I'll put the paper towel under it with the name of the herb. This one being?
Thyme,
Cloves.
oregano,
Cloves.
marjoram.
Yes. Okay. I knew you'd get it when you smelled it.
Do you bake a lot?
Yeah, I love to cook, but baking is not my forte, not like yours. So the good thing about friends like you and my friend Mavis is you do the baking and I eat them things. Mavis is going to come over and cook fry bread. You can.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You want to hang out?
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't imposing, because I would really love to meet her, because I've never honestly had the opportunity to watch someone make fry bread or even eat it.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, here you can learn. Yeah, you guys, I wanted you to meet each other because you're both cooks in your own right.
Oh, I'm excited. Nice to meet you.
I know, nice to meet you, and I've never ever made fry bread.
When we make fry bread, usually it's for a gathering. It's for other people. So what we want to do is center ourselves and come to a peaceful point. Everything that we're filling is going to go into the making of the fry bread. Okay, so let's take a moment. Think about something happy. Maybe say a little prayer, as my mom and the women folk would do, is kind of pray before they do make fry bread. If you want to go ahead, and I'm going to have you mix it.
Now, if it's not 7 cups, Tally was talking to me, so.
No,
it's her fault. It's her fault. No.
You messed her up. I'm going to go ahead and put all of the dry ingredients in for you. So once you mix that up really good.
Okay.
And I've watched my mom when she does this. She does it by hand. She doesn't really use a utensil. She'll have her hand in there. And then we'll put in the wet ingredients now. And so we'll make a well. Go ahead and make a well in there. You keep it in the middle. Mix the liquid in there in the middle.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add butter. And then now I need a cup of hot boiling water.
Now, is this like traditional? I mean, because sometimes you see, maybe 25 years ago, people did just water, or, I mean, was it always people added eggs and milk?
In the beginning, all they used was flour, sugar, and water.
Okay.
That's how it started.
And I think...
So what you do is you want to mix in the middle, like that. Okay, and then we got to add the yeast.
Both hands?
Use both hands and just get in there.
I remember you using both hands.
You're going to need to really knead it good so that it's all well mixed. Okay, you just kind of make it into a little ball. And now we need a teaspoon of oil.
And this is on...
Wonderful. Okay, so here it is. Our beautiful dough fry.
Now, how long did that raise for, you think?
This raised probably a half an hour.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to roll it out like a pastry.
Okay.
This way I think it's faster.
Okay.
And this is the way I've always seen my mom do it. Watching my mom do this while we were growing up, it was quite an event. I just really enjoyed watching her because she was always in such a happy, good mood.
So now, Mavis, did you grow up here in South Dakota? Or?
I did. I grew up on Pioneer Indian Reservation.
Okay.
I come from a small town called Oglala. Watching my mom and my aunties and grandmas making fry bread, that's always been a part of just a way of life for us. Can I say hi to my mom? Hi, Mom. I love you. My mom's name is Flita. But I think these are ready to turn.
I forgot what year it was, but South Dakota made it the state bread, and I mean, how do you feel about that?
It made me happy.
Yeah.
I was happy about that because fry bread is joyful.
Yeah. And it's traditional, something nice to have that's, I think in honor of Native American, and that's our state bread in South Dakota.
I just thought that was wonderful that they did that, in honor of our people.
It does help boost the efforts to find unity in the people who live here.
Relations.
Yeah. So is it something that you go, I'm going to make fry bread, and then everybody's like, hey, Mavis is making fry bread. Next thing you know, there's like 50 people at your house.
If it's not said, it's the smell.
Oh, yeah, because it does have. And
I mean, like my son say, oh, we're coming home, and I can smell the fry bread a block away.
Oh, that's really nice. And how do you like to eat fry bread?
I mean, we have toppings like we use honey or cinnamon, sugar, and mojapi. We dip it in our traditional dish called mojapi. I like to use jelly.
Oh, okay.
Any kind of jelly.
No, that sounds good.
It's a comfort food.
Yeah. And this is like perfect, when it's like snowing outside and, a cup of hot chocolate, or it's a great time. Or tea, that's true.
Or chili. Fry bread is so good with chili.
Buffalo chili. Well, this has been a really great day. I've never made fry bread, and I really appreciate you taking the time and showing us and really learning it from someone who really knows how to make fry bread. I hope to see more of you. If I eat a lot of fry bread, you'll probably see more of me. So,
well, that just means you enjoy it. You enjoy good food.
But it's very light and it's really wonderful. It's very, very good.
Indian tacos are a hearty item to enjoy through the year and have even been savored by visitors in the halls of the Capitol building. At the University of South Dakota in Vermilion, another generation gathers once a month to make fry bread. With recipes passed down from their families, dough is created for a taco sale. Students and visitors to campus stop by the Native American Cultural Center to enjoy lunch.
It's to help fundraise for the annual Wachipi that we do here in the spring. We have a group from the university, another student org, who comes and help us make our fry bread, and they sell it throughout the duration of the Wachipi. You'll definitely see them throughout different powwows or different activities that you go to. Well, I would help my grandma when I was little, help make the dough that we made back home, but once I got here, it was more like a group thing, that we had a group recipe that we would get our group members together and make it all together and have like a little fun, like making the dough and everything with our group members. And then this year we just recently changed up to a different recipe from one of our group members, so that was pretty neat to learn a different recipe.
I learned how to make fry bread through my mom. She makes her bread, yeast bread. Up here, traditionally, it's no yeast. I have like 7 siblings, so then all of us, my mom said, we're not gonna rely on a woman to cook for you, so I'm gonna teach you how to cook. So she taught us pretty much how to cook everything she knows how to cook, including fry bread. And it's a family secret. The fry bread I make here, I make some few tweaks on it so it's not like my mom's. So just watching the amount of stuff I put in, ingredients I put into my fry bread, and then I just make sure I watch the oil. I like constantly watch the oil, how much sugar I put into it, because the sugar and then the oil balance together, you can get real black and fry bread. And if you have it too light, then it could become real dense.
I think it's because it's become a more modern culture thing within Native culture, and it's kind of like a staple. Whenever I go to like Native or family gatherings back home, or like here at USD or in Vermilion, like fry bread's always present. So it's kind of associated again, like with that family and like community aspect of things.
Yeah, a lot of people knock fry bread because of the past. But during that dark time, we couldn't really knock it because that's what kept us going. That's what helped us eat, because we did have starvation going on. We did have people dying of starvation. And then we had just the flour, and that was it. So then that's where fry bread should be praised a little bit, because that helped to keep us alive. And then today in celebration, for birthday parties, graduations, it's ours. So that's why it's cause of a celebration, because it's ours, I think.
As prairie tribes lived on the plains, they formed a close relationship with their food sources. Vegetation wasn't available in winter months, so timsala, or wild turnips, for example, gathered in June, would be braided and dried for future use. That tradition is carried on still. John Gozen Center and his sister Geraldine forage for the wild plant on family land.
First of all, I want to thank our ancestors for this knowledge, and I want to thank these people to come here so we can show our young ones what's important to us as Lakota people. And thank you to the Team Slapan and Mother Earth for letting us come out here and providing us with good, healthy food.
Well, the day finally came that we could gather Timsala. And I don't know, am I saying it right? Timsala?
Timsala.
Okay, and what exactly is Timsala?
Well, it's a root. It's the the bottom part of the root, like that. And people think it's a turnip, but they have different names.
Now, is Timsala the name?
It's a Lakota. It's a Lakota word, but when the Lewis and Clark found it, they called it turnip. Breadroot, because the reason why they call it breadroot too is because a lot of tribes pound after they dried it, made a powder out of it, and then put it in their breads. Or it's very high in protein and vitamin C, and so it would be like it wouldn't really be a carbohydrate, but there is fiber in it. It's very good for you. Yeah.
Now, I noticed before we gather it, is that traditional that we pray and give tobacco?
That's what they used to do a long time ago, is they'd pray.
It's because our creation story has an emergence for us, that we're part of this earth, so we would consider this our relative. We approach it that way, so it's not so much tradition, it's the way we believe, it's part of our spirituality. All these things that we utilize, we're relative to it, just like the brother is the buffalo to us.
When Timsala is ready, do you know that it's a particular time of year?
Yep, it becomes ready to be dug in spring.
If you do this every year, pretty soon you're tied to the cyclical patterns of seasons. After winter, spring is coming. The meadowlarks are singing, announcing the renewal of the earth. And I start thinking, well, these things are going to be coming up.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm like exhausted. I mean, it is a lot of work.
But when I was growing up, we used to go out and do it, and I used to hate it. Yeah, now I wish I would have paid more attention.
So people work as a collective as opposed to individuals. It's really hard to do this. Can you think of this as one person going out there and trying to create wealth with this? If you do it collectively, we all benefit. So we dug these this afternoon. So it's something you just can't set aside and we'll finish them tomorrow. So this is when you're going to go out and dig Timsala, it's a commitment. It's what I call, just like this. See it pop right up.
What I do is I line them up, big to small. I mean, the bigger ones on the bottom and the smaller ones. Yeah. So, let me see here. And then you just braid them.
So I have imaginations that, okay, here comes the crew back from a day of did in Timsala. So then there's other people that stayed behind in the camp. They did other things, and then so they brought back a big bundle of. So they finished the job, But I see this as a cooperative of the whole family, the whole. Yeah. So
wow.
Look at that, see?
That's really nice.
Yeah. And then I'll eat this one.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. It was this was one of my best.
You'll sleep good tonight?
My best adventures, yes. And I've been to a lot of places, and this was very magical. Thank you for sharing with me.
The season for gathering Timsala is fleeting, but their braids can be stored well into the winter if kept dry. Fresh or dry, they're a welcome addition to soup.
So this is the Timsala that we gathered yesterday, and you did all the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't need all of these, would you start if you were going to do something, would you start at the bottom, or would you start at the top to take off?
Or in the middle.
Or in the middle? I was just wondering if there was a certain way.
Just,
I know what
do you want bite size? These have a kind of like little stronger taste to them. The bigger ones, to me, they've got this really woody, earthy taste to it. Smaller ones up there are sweeter. Remember you ate
Yes.
you ate one yesterday, and how it was kind of mild, but it had a sweetness to it.
Yes, it reminds me of like a parsnip in a way,
Yeah,
and a turnip, but more sweet.
So when I'm dishing myself out of a pot of soup with team sala on it, I'm digging around for the mid-sized ones, which are bite-sized and sweet and tender.
Soup is a dish that has been enjoyed by generations on the plains. Native cooks would place liquid, meat, and vegetables in a bison's stomach or other reservoir and add hot rocks to make it boil. Winter vegetable soup with timsala is a simple and hearty dish which also includes carrots, celery, sage, and shallots.
And I like to use shallots because they're milder than an onion, and I think that the turnip has a nice flavor, and I don't want to lose the flavor. Okay, so what I'll do now is I have everything chopped up, and I'll start to saute these, and we'll add this. I don't want to like brown them. No, I just want to cook them and sweat them. So you were saying that you enjoy cooking. When did you first start cooking?
I think when I was a young man on my own, when you get hungry, you figure out ways to do it. So I was cooking from memory of seeing what my grandmother. She didn't really teach me, but I guess I'm a good observer. Took in things my grandmother did, my mother, my aunts. Never took any formal classes, but.
And I think that's the key. Observing is huge.
But I really kind of got into cooking for my children. And when I was a little boy, we went out hunting and digging up turnips and all that. So I've always observed my grandmother making stews, all different kinds. If you can't believe how many variations of wahampi.
Oh,
and we call it.
And wahampi is soup in the Lakota.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to add the timsala. This will be like a nice prairie vegetable soup, I guess.
Wow, that looks really interesting, though, as far as
I'm just going to add a little more. Salt is our friend. So now what I'll do is, here I have this water. And we're just going to let this simmer. It has a nice color.
Well, I'm getting ideas what I would do from this, taking what I call the Lakota cuisine to another level.
Yeah, no. Well, see, now maybe next year we'll be visiting with you because you'll be doing a cookbook or something. Now this, I could cook this for longer, but when you eat timsala, would you rather have it be a little bit more crunchy?
I like that.
Crunchy?
That's all to me.
No, because I'd like to eat it the traditional way.
To me, when I think about it, that's the essence of when I had it always served, and as a little boy, all the way to now, when people do bring it to feasts, and I've always had it where you can chew it. See this? I see like grease swirls in it, but I know it's not grease.
I know it's like olive oil. Yeah, it's nice olive oil.
Ooh.
Is that one?
Now look, even this plumped up a little bit further. See how those pieces that you chopped up, they kind of absorbed a little more fluid and they plumped up.
We just picked these yesterday.
Oh, that
definitely is
the ultimate treat to me, is that these, just yesterday, these things were in the earth. And they had reached their zenith as far as this growing season. They were just ready to be harvested. Now we're eating them. It's an amazing circle we've been through.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
It's very delicious.
Well, I am inspired. I am going to go out and pick more, dig more. Even if they dried, I'd reconstitute them and quarter them, slice them, and make a soup like this. And experiment from then on, just from what we discovered here.
And this really didn't take that long.
Yeah.
Really just to cut up some vegetables, and we just used water, and you could taste the flavor of the vegetables. And
it's even good to look at.
How would you say, thank you in Lakota?
Well, in kind of more of a formal way, the men would say, well, I would just say it my own way, Lakotas, I would say, Wopila Echa. It's like, thank you very much.
Wopila Echa?
Yeah, and women, they have a different ending on their words. Well, a woman would say Pilama Yaye.
Pilama Yaye?
Yeah, and a man would say Pilama Yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so men and women have different.
Okay. Pilama Yaye.
And I'd say Pilama Yellow.
Ah, okay. Yes. This is good.
Explore the culinary landscape of South Dakota online. Enjoy additional video, tips, recipes, and more. Join the potluck at sdpb.org/food.